Welcome to Jorts Center. I'm your host, Malcolm Bigsby. My co-host, Alexander Frompot. Alex, how's it going today?
Not too bad.
Speaking of football, we're going to jump right into our weekly matchups, our highlight matches, and talk about some games that you can bet the house on and maybe lose your house, but you can do it anyway. So, first matchup we're talking about here is the Broncos versus the Dolphins. Who you got in this game?
I got the Broncos over the Dolphins for this one.
Okay.
Got Tebow, he's coming in, he's running on high, everyone wants him in there. Got the crowd, they really wanted him in there, and I don't know, I think he's going to take it to the house on this one.
Yeah, I think so too. It's fun fact is that Miami is actually hosting like a college appreciation game, and Tebow is from Miami University or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't watch college football, but that's what I read today in an article. So I think they like him and everything. So I might even start him in my goddamn fantasy league. I don't know.
Wouldn't push it that far.
Yeah. So I also got the Broncos in that one. What about the Bears Buccaneers? I'm taking the Bears in this one.
I got the Bucks in this one. Freeman's coming off a high from last week, winning against the Saints. So I believe he's going to take out the Bears, walk right over them. I know they got Urlacher, they got that defense, but I'm going to go with the Bucks on this one. Jay Cutler. That's pretty much all I got to say on that one.
Yeah, all I got to say is fuck the Buccaneers. Because, 2 weeks ago, -6 points on defense. I mean, you have to be a fool to start their defense, right?
They really would have screwed up somebody's week.
Right, they could have completely ruined a matchup for someone. Some poor soul. Speaking of poor souls, the Packers taking on the Vikings. This is going to be my bet the house pick of the week here.
Oh, for sure. This is going to be the Packers all day long.
Right.
God, Aaron Rodgers just deep ball to everybody, and
I would be as bold as to say you could probably start 2 of their receivers this week on the same team if you were an asshole named Mike or something. Another thing about that is Christian Ponder is going to be starting for the Vikes, I think. He's a rookie. He's going to get his ass kicked.
most likely.
Next matchup we got is the late game Sunday. The Colts visiting the Saints in New Orleans. Who you got in there?
I got the Saints over the Colts in this one. After that loss to Josh Freeman last week in the Bucks, I can't imagine that they're too happy. I gotta imagine they're gonna take some of their frustrations out on the Colts and their awful team of this year.
Right. Yeah, I think Curtis Painter is gonna some pun about painting and being a bad painter. I'm taking the Saints in that one too. It's gonna be another beatdown, I think. You could also bet your house on that one. If you had 2 houses, you could put 1 house on each bet, probably. Be worthy.
Not that anyone would have 2 houses. Who the hell would have 2 houses, let alone right next to each other? That's ridiculous. Who owns 2 houses?
Yeah. I think right now we're going to jump right into our fantasy matchups of the week. And that's actually sponsored by our good friends at Skippy. Skippy Peanut Butter. Good friends at Jorts Center. And they're here to throw some crunch into the fantasy week. All right, first fantasy highlight of the week. We got Corky going against Ted. Ted is the home team here, but I'm going to predict that he loses, mainly because he's a major fag, and I just don't think that he can compete with Corky's team. And I'm not just saying that because Corky had a good week last week and beat someone awesome. So.
As much as I agree with you on the fag about the Ted thing,
right,
and that going on, but I got Ted over Corky, mostly because anytime Ted plays somebody good, his team just magically has the greatest week. I mean, this kid lost Jamal Charles one week and scored 134 points the same week. That's ridiculous. That just doesn't happen.
Right.
And Corky is kind of king of waiver wire, and he does seem to squeak by those wins. But at one point he was starting Josh Freeman when he was terrible.
Right. Like the whole season is the one point, I think.
So I'm going to have to go with Ted on this one.
All right. Agree to disagree. We can agree on the fag thing.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
As always.
Another interesting note about the Corky-Ted matchup and how Ted just seems to squeak by most weeks and just kind of play above his competition, regardless of if they're good or bad, is he's the league commissioner. And he might be a fucking cheater, I think. Next fantasy matchup of the week, brought to you by Skippy. We got Evers and Corky Sr. Who you got?
All right, for the Evers Corky Sr. matchup, I got Evers over Corky Sr. Mostly because of the main fact of if you still have Peyton Manning on your bench, drop him. He's out for the season. It doesn't make any sense. And anybody who has really more than 2 quarterbacks, 2 of which are on bye, 1 of them which is out for the season, probably doesn't have their shit together. So, I'm going to guess that Evers is going to take Corky Sr. on this one. For the next fantasy matchup of the week, we got Mike Wolf taking on Pat Kearns at Pat Kearns' home stadium. What do you got on that one?
Alright, for this matchup, as much as it hurts me to say it, I'm going to take Mike Wolf over Pat here. Both teams are starting a bunch of shitty players, but I think Pat is going to out-shitty Mike Wolf this week. Speaking of shitty things, Mike Wolf actually, fun fact, he has 3 of Green Bay's receivers. He basically has their entire receiving corps.
Wow.
Right. So he's starting 2 of them this week, which is just brilliant. And I think, I mean, I'm a fantasy expert, so I would actually recommend that he sits Dwayne Bowe and starts the 3rd receiver as well. Can't go wrong, right? With Aaron Rodgers throwing it to you. Fucking distribution. I just have a feeling that Pat's team, a lot of buys going on. He has to start Montario Hardesty, Jacoby Ford, Pierre Garçon, Steve Breston. It's just a lot of shit. Big pile of shit there. So I think Action Jackson is going to take the W this week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, got a couple more matchups to run through for our fantasy matchups of the week. Brought to you by Skippy. And next one we're going to go to is Colin McDonald versus Sean Colleran. You want to walk us through that one?
All right, so the Colin McDonald v. Sean Colleran matchup is not really going to be a tough one. Just one word on that, Aaron Rodgers. Colin McDonald has him. So really he's just going to blow out of the water and probably get like 45 points like he does every single week. And then the other side of the story is bye weeks for Sean Colleran. He has 5 key players on bye weeks. He's got Vic Gore, D'Angelo Williams, Felix Jones is out. That doesn't count as a bye week, he's just out. But there is a happy side to the story. He did manage to pick up 3 key players. He got a backup quarterback for Vic's bye week, and if he ever gets hurt again, because God knows he gets hurt about every single week, he got DeMarco Murray to cover Felix Jones, because Felix Jones is hurt. So they're going to need somebody to run the ball, because Tony Romo fucking sucks.
Yep.
Man, would it suck to have him on your team.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy cannot hold it together.
Blows.
Give him $1, you get 3 quarters back. I'm gonna root for the underdog this week. I always like to go with the underdog, and I'm gonna pick Sean Colleran in this one. So fuck you, Colin. Next
Bold.
up in the fantasy league picks, we got Ian Oliver versus Joe Murphy. Murphy coming off of his first win, so who knows? Do you feel a hot streak coming on? I don't know about that, but who you got in this one?
All right, for this matchup, this is my bet your 3rd house of the week on fantasy matchup of the week. And I'm taking Ian, wow, holy shit, I'm taking Ian Oliver in this one. Can't even pronounce his name, he's so goddamn good. So, a lot of factors went into this. Joe Murphy, he's got, doesn't have a lot of things going for him right now. And he's got Drew Brees, and he's got Jimmy Graham. And not much beyond that. Ian, on the other hand, is just a stud. He's just fucking best team in the game, I would say, even though he's 2 games under 500. But let's not talk about that. So, he's actually projected to get 143 points this week. Yeah, which is fucking bullshit. He's probably going to get way more than that. Or he'll probably get like 80 and then win by less than 3 points because projections are fucked. So, I think his team's gonna have a breakout week. He has Romo, who's shit, and he has Tebow, who's gonna save the league from damnation. So he might pull the switcheroo this week. Might wait it out. I don't know, but it's he's gonna be a stud either way. It's a lock. It's a goddamn lock. All right, that's gonna do it for us today on Jorts Center. Catch us next week and every week after. It's a long season. You're lonely. I know that. For more expert analysis, picks, and fantasy breakdowns. You can also read more of our shit online at jortscenter.com/fantasyfootball/articles. So we're working on the redirects. Anyway, catch us next week. I'm Malcolm Bigsby, co-host Alexander Frompot. See you out there.